Hogan, who is sounding the alarm about what he calls, quote, Trump cancel culture. The New York Times reports that at a recent meeting of GOP governors, Hogan raised concerns about Trump's pattern of retaliating against Republicans he doesn't like. In a separate interview, Hogan added it's outrageous, unacceptable, and bad for the party. This comes as Trump reportedly pushes former Georgia Senator David Perdue to primary Republican Governor Brian Kemp in his re-election race. Trump has repeatedly blamed Kemp for his 2020 loss in Georgia, falsely claiming the governor did not do enough to stop Democrats from stealing the election. At a rally earlier this year, Trump went as far as saying Democrat Stacey Abrams may be a better option than Kemp. He'll do anything to turn things upside down for people.
Anything. Jonathan Swan, Donald Trump, a one-man wrecking ball for Republican majorities. You look what's happening again with Brian Kemp. As Willie said, all you have to do is say you love him. It doesn't matter who you are. You don't have to even live in the state of Georgia, and if you're Herschel Walker, he'll endorse you. I mean, you look again at just the whack jobs that this guy has been endorsing across the country. You look at, you talk about a bar scene from Star Wars. Look at the Republicans in Arizona that are front runners right now. This is something, again, I go back to Mitch McConnell. This is something that Mitch McConnell has to worry about every day. Not Kevin McCarthy, because, of course, those seats are so gerrymandered. But if you want to win statewide in Georgia, if you want to win statewide in Arizona, you know, Donald Trump is your biggest problem.
Candidates obviously matter. The political environment is the best political environment for Republicans in a decade on any metric. Presidential approval, generic ballot, the issues set with issues like inflation and supply chain. When Donald Trump has his calls with his top political advisors and they discuss endorsements, and this is going back a few months, and they'll raise a name, you know, such and such, and Trump will say on these calls, where is he on Trump? Where is he on Trump? And that's literally a verbatim quote from these calls. And the other thing he wants to know is where were they on the 2020 election? And, you know, there have been some advisors to the president who've said to him, look, you have a very low, this is, you know, I'm talking about recent conversations, you have a very low percentage chance of winning the 2020 election. And we have a somewhat higher percentage chance of winning back the House and the Senate in 2022. So maybe let's talk about future elections, not a past election that you lost. But that has been falling on deaf ears, to say the least. The president is still fixated on the 2020 election, and it's actually driving his selection process through endorsement. So that's how you get this character in Maryland who, you know, to describe the vice president as a traitor and be endorsed by the president. I mean, we don't we thought, oh, yes, that happened. I mean, OK, what are we talking about here? This is not, you know, someone who's got sort of, you know, an interesting view about immigration. It's just the sitting vice president, you know, the former vice president of the United States, who's a totemic figure in the evangelical movement and you know, was considered a sort of hardcore right-wing member of Congress. And to get the former president's endorsement, you call him a traitor. But that's where we're at in this process.
Joe, it's interesting. We're